Hey there. First of all, I want to apologize for not making any videos yesterday. It's because I'm ugly. I didn't want you to have to see my face for a day. You're welcome. I hope that you enjoyed it. Now, let's look over here. You see how this, the eaves on this are sagging and they look underwhelming. And then the ends of them have this, like the curved end and it's open rafters. We don't like that, okay? That doesn't look great. So what we're doing is we're cutting that stuff off and we're making it solid. And over here, you can tell yesterday, we shortened the eaves just a little bit, just 5.5 inches, but then we shorted up and made soffit underneath there. We haven't finished it yet. And then we're cutting some of this extra off because there's nothing that's taking the weight and so it's sagging off the edge. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably think a lot. And this is what I'm thinking about this morning. And this is so true and not enough people talk about this. If you want to be forgiven, and we desperately need to be forgiven, then you have to forgive others, okay? I don't want to brush over this and not give it enough attention. If you want to be forgiven, you have to forgive other people, even the people that did you really wrong. Because guess what? We did God really wrong. And we've all done atrocities before God and before men that deserve harsh punishment. And if we want to be forgiven for that, we need to forgive the people who've done things to us that deserve harsh punishment. If we want mercy, and I desperately need mercy, we need to be merciful to other people. This is how this works. If we want love, we need to give love. If we want friends, we need to be a friend. This is how the world works. This is how the universe works. So if you want to be forgiven, forgive. If you want mercy, be merciful. If you want friends, be friendly. If you want love, be loving. Hope you have a great day. All right, bye. Oh, hey there. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I want to show you guys something. It's something that I hate. And here's why I hate it. Because every time I get near it, I get it. It's not good. Don't eat this. Don't touch it. Don't smoke it. Don't think about it. Leaves of 3, leave it be. It's poison ivy. If you want to see what it looks like on skin, well, I'm too dirty for you to tell, but there's too many stickers. But it's all over me, and it's miserable, and I hate it. Makes you itchy. I don't like it. So, avoid that stuff if you can. Unfortunately, it's all over what we're working on. Now, if you look here, you will see a caterpillar. Can you see it? Now, in Australia, they've got much bigger ones, and they have crossbred them. You know, they're doing all this GMO stuff, and they've crossbred them with cows, and they are called cattle pillars, which I think is a little bit weird. Also, they started calling kangaroos hop pockets because they hop and they have pockets. Also, I need to have a show called The Worst Tour Guide in the World, and it would be me telling you about things wrongly. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go see my friends play because that's what I do at night, among other things. All right, later. Oh, hey there. So it occurred to me that a lot of you guys have probably never cut down a tree. So let me show you how. Now, why am I cutting down this tree? It's beautiful, it's lush and green. Because none of that's true. Because look, it's rotted, it's dead, it's covered in vines and thorns. This is the epitome of neglect, which also means worldly riches and spiritual neglect. Okay, so how do we cut this down? I've sized it up, okay? There's nothing that's really gonna get hurt. No matter which way it falls, the only thing that's gonna get hurt is me. And maybe my camera guy over there. Sorry, Drew. But keep your distance. Okay, so I think it's gonna fall this way. That's where I want it to fall, because that's kind of where the gravity is taking it anyway. So what we wanna do is on the other side, we wanna cut a notch that lets it fall into that. And then come on this side and cut through, and then when it starts falling, get out of the way. That's important. So Drew, step back. That tree is clearly much bigger than I was hoping. I did lose some blood, but you see that? Thorns. They're not my favorite. Okay, so I came in like this, and I came in from the back side, but then I went underneath the cut, and then I had to come in from the other side. So right now it's in a dangerous spot for me to be there, so I'm gonna get the bobcat and just knock it over. So give me a second. way to do it, but it's done. Hey there. So while we're working on this other flip house, we're also working on this right here. So we are going to build a 3-car garage with a mother-in-law suite over here, which is going to be amazing. And so we've had to run power. That's what this trench is over here. We had to run water. That's what that trench is over there. And then we got a driveway come along here, so you can take a look at that. It's gonna be beautiful. And if you remember, I think maybe 2 years ago, we built this pool house right here, and then we ended up painting the whole house, and it's wonderful. Now, I want to talk to you guys and tell you that it is okay to celebrate the progress of others. What do I mean by that? I've been in the music and entertainment business for decades now, right? For the better part of my life. And here's what I noticed, especially when I was younger. All these bands are all trying, right? And then one of them gets signed. And everybody else that knows them is like this. How come they got signed? I'm better than them, blah, blah, blah. They suck, and their guitar isn't that great, and their bass isn't that great, they don't have a good look, and they have all these excuses. Instead of just going, man, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. How can I help you out? How can I help make your success an even better success? Let me celebrate your success and be happy for you. Because they worked hard for that, and I know you did too. But when your time comes, you're gonna want people to be nice to you. You're gonna want people to be excited for you. So when their time comes, be excited for them. Be happy for them, because here's what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna let you on a little secret. Everybody is gonna be a hater. Blah, blah, blah. You think you're such a big deal. You're all Hollywood now, whatever. You think you're... And the few people that are nice, that are like, man, I'm so happy for you. What can I do to help? Whatever. They're gonna remember that, because you will stand out from the crowd. And when that happens, they're gonna be like, you know what? I can help that person out. And when their opportunity arises to help another person, which won't be tomorrow, but will be down the road sometime, then maybe they help you out. But you don't do it for that. You do it because, you know what? It's okay to be happy for other people when things go well for them. It doesn't mean that there's enough to go around that just because somebody else wins, it doesn't mean you lose. They can win and you can win. And other people can win, we can all win. It's okay to live your life like that. I'm gonna get back to the flip house. This, we're gonna pour concrete on Monday. I'm so very excited about it. Love you guys, bye. Oh, hey there. So I realized that the other day I told you that we had a big sag in this roof, and then we jacked it up, but I didn't really show you. We've been doing multiple things at the same time. We're multitasking. Anyway, I don't know if you can tell how straight that is up there, and then we got a straight line across for the soffit. We haven't put soffit and fascia on yet. And then we put in a window today, because that's gonna be a master bedroom, and we put on 5 windows and a door today as well, and then we put in a beam in the garage. So right now the garage ceiling is really weird. It comes way down low, and so we brought another beam up higher so we can have a ceiling that's right high. See how low this garage door is? It's not great. So we're gonna make that better. Now, what do I wanna talk to you guys about? In the Bible, there's a story about the woman who was caught in adultery. Now, I know that today, we don't frown on adultery as much as we should. But back in the day, it was punishable by death, okay? Now it's punishable by meh. But at the time, this woman was caught in adultery. They drug her out to the edge of town, and they were gonna stone her to death. And this was normal practice, right? Because adultery is that bad. And in fact, as somebody who's been the victim of adultery on many chances or many occasions, I would just like to say that it feels like you, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but in your heart, you feel like, I wish they were dead, that would be easier, or I wish I was dead, that would be easier. Now, they bring this woman out there, and they're all about to stone her to death, and they look at Jesus, who's sitting there, and they say, you know, what would you do with her? And they're trying to trick him, right? They're trying to get him in some kind of like, hey, if God can God make a rock so big that you can't throw it? And you're like, well, if he can, then he's not whatever, because the rock's too big. And if he can't, then he's not really all powerful because he can't build the rock. Anyway, they're trying to trick him into something. And he looks at them, and he looks at her, and he reaches down and he just starts drawing in the sand. And we don't know what he wrote in the sand, right? I've heard speculation that perhaps he was writing the names of girls that these guys had either thought about or had cheated on their wives with or something. We don't know. But he said, whoever of you has not sinned, let them cast the first stone. And one by one, starting with the oldest, they dropped their rocks and they walked away. Now, this is important. They were ready to kill this woman because of what she did, because she did a terrible thing, which is true. She did a terrible thing, but they were ready to kill her, which by law they were entitled to do. In fact, they were obligated to do it. But Jesus said, whichever one of you is without sin, go ahead and kill her. And they had to reflect on that. And they went, well, I'm not. Well, I'm not either. And one by one, starting with the oldest, because they're old enough to know they're not too prideful. They're like, look, I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm not going to be the one to throw the first stone, especially not with Jesus right there. And then all of them left. Every last one of them left. And it was just this woman crying on the ground because she knew she was about to die, and Jesus. And he said, woman, they didn't condemn you? She's like, no. And he goes, then neither do I. Go in peace and sin no more. Now, this is an important thing. He said, go and sin no more. He didn't say go and you're justified in what you did. He didn't say you didn't do anything wrong, just keep it up. They're all wrong. What he said was go and sin no more. And she knew the gravity of the situation. Now, there's nothing else that's said about her. We don't know. Maybe she went right back and jumped in bed with some other dude. I don't know. But if I was to take a guess, I would think that probably she was like, that was such a life-changing event. I'll never do anything like that again, and probably follow Jesus for the rest of her life. And we've all been forgiven of a tremendous debt. And none of us has the right to go throw a stone at somebody else. Nobody has the right to go talk trash about somebody else or belittle them or bring them down, because we're all in the same boat. So let's love each other. You guys want to do that? Just like love each other, be understanding, be forgiving, and understand we're not any better than that. Okay? So we're going to take Sunday off tomorrow. And if you guys want to come to church, I'll buy you lunch. All right. Love you. Bye. Oh, hey there. So over the weekend, I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes, and now I have Heinz sight. Anyway, I guess it's 2020. So, do you see how low this garage door is? Let me demonstrate for you. It's too low. You get over here, it's even lower. You got to duck. Not great. So, how are we going to fix that? Well, what's going on is up here, there's a beam that's supporting the weight of this roof. We don't want that. So we put in this beam up here on Saturday. It almost fell on my head, thank God it didn't. And now we're gonna support the ceiling properly, take that beam out, support this roof properly, and put in a real garage door. And then you know what's gonna happen? People will be like this. The clouds will depart, the sun will shine, people will be happy, and there'll be peace upon the earth again. So we're looking forward to that. Oh, hey there. So what we did is we put this beam in. It's amazing. Then we put these 2x6s on. They're resting on that wall. They're resting on these joist hangers. Then we brace that to the roof here and here, and we did rat runs here and here, which is amazing. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but from here, stand up here, Drew, and you can take a look. You see all these from the top, you're like, oh, that looks straight. And all these from the bottom, you're like, that looks like a roller coaster happened. So now we're about to take these out, and then we'll just have a straight wall. We've got these temporary supports. Now, this brings up a very important point. Here at the job site, we have a lot of fun. We work hard, but we also play hard. And it occurred to us that I guess girls, maybe girls that are trying to get through college or something, sometimes do dances with poles. But this is a stud, and I'm a boy, and I want to disappoint my mother. So I think it's something like that. I don't really understand how it works. Oh, hey there. Now I know you're thinking, John, the house you bought belongs in Better Homes and Ghettos, which is the alternative to Better Homes and Gardens. But we're gonna make it a Better Homes and Gardens house soon. So this was the height. Now I want you to see, I'm flat-footed, but this is too low. And this garage door, also too low. I'm taller than the garage door, that's not great. This beam is too low, the ceiling's too low, you have to duck like this the whole time, it's not good. So we put this beam in. You see how much higher that is? Oh look, it's 8 feet like it should be, like God intended, okay? We're not hobbits. Well, I'm not a hobbit. Josh isn't either. So now we're gonna take this out, and we're gonna re-support all this stuff, and then we're gonna bring it across there, and it's gonna be beautiful. Now, I want to explain to you the difference, and a lot of people don't know this, the difference between a hero and a coward. Josh, do you know? The hero sticks around just a little bit longer. That's the difference. Let me explain. When trouble comes, the hero and the coward both sense fear in their heart. There's fight or flight, right? And they're like, I need to get out of here because that's dangerous, or that's scary, or it's unknown, or whatever in the world. And they're like, I want to go. I want to run. And so the coward turns around and he runs. The hero stays. He fights the fight. He's the hero. If you want to be the hero, stick around a little bit longer. A lot of times it's not that much harder than you think, but everybody's like, man, you did it. And you're like, I know, that's what we're supposed to do when trouble comes. We're supposed to rise above and be a hero. Cowards run. We don't run. These colors don't run. Black or whatever this color is. Oh, hey there. So we got the whole garage ceiling raised. Do you see this? It's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting. We're gonna get a garage door put in soon, and that's amazing. So now the whole garage ceiling is raised up. We don't have some hobbit garage, which is remarkable. Now, I wanna tell you guys about a time in my life when I was dumb. Maybe you can relate to this, hopefully not. Okay, first of all, anybody who goes to church, if you're a single person and you're going to church by yourself and there's nobody else there, there's nobody to support you, I want you to know I support you. I think that's a really big deal. So I did that for a long time. Okay, I mean, I still do it, but I did it for a long time. Here's the problem I had. At the time, I owned Dream World, so I would stay up all night long because I had a music venue, and then it was difficult for me to get to church on time, and so I wasn't a huge fan of the worship music, and so I would skip that part, and I would show up right at the sermon, and I would listen to the sermon, and I would duck out the back, okay? I made a habit out of this for years, to the point where oftentimes people be like, oh, is it your first time? I've been like, I've been going here for a decade. At some point, I realized I was sitting around my house, piddling around, busying myself so that I could be late to church. And I'm like, do you have to do this anymore? You don't own a music venue anymore. And so then I thought, but I'm not the biggest fan of this type of music. And I was like, maybe you could be. Maybe you'll get something out of this. And so I did. So I started showing up to church early, and especially on time, but also early, talking to people, getting involved, got in a small group, started going on mission trips and things like this. And you know what happened? My life improved tremendously. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a Christian and not go to church. I'm not saying you can't be a Christian and not be involved in church. What I am saying is you are robbing yourself if you don't, just like I was robbing myself. And so I've learned my lesson. Now every week I'm like, I'm so excited to go to church. And then I go and I see a bunch of people that I know and that I love, and I get a whole lot out of it, and I get closer to God, and I get tools that will help me through the week. And then in the evening time, I've got a small group, and we all gather together. We pray for people. We probably pray for you guys. We eat together. We laugh. We fellowship. And it's a beautiful thing. And if you don't have that in your life, I encourage you to do that. If you don't have a church that you love, come to mine. I'll buy you lunch afterwards. We can hang out. I love it. All right, we're gonna go have lunch ourselves because we're hungry. Oh, hey there. So, while we're working on the flip house, we're also working on this. And if you can take a look, we got a driveway forward, and then that's where we back up, and that'll be a 3-car garage, and then that where he's got the whirlybird, that's where it'll be like a mother-in-law suite. So there'll be a bathroom and a kitchen and bedroom, living room, dining area, and laundry area. So how exciting is that? Now, Drew, have you heard about the new wind-up welfare doll that they've got?
No.
You wind it up, and it doesn't work. Oh, hey there. So yesterday, we poured concrete, and it's beautiful. And now, we got trusses getting delivered, and this is going to be amazing. You see how this works? We're going to just slide right off of there. Hopefully, not hit the floor. Would you look at that? Truly amazing. But wait, there's more. Now it's going to pull forward some. He's got some magic he's going to do. So, I'm working on a new book. I think a lot of you guys know. It's all about the things that I should do or should be doing. It's called an ought to biography. Like I ought to be doing this, but I'm not. I'm doing other stuff. So look, if you don't agree to a full cavity search, the terrorists win. Anyway, you get the point. The trusses are gonna fall on the ground. We got materials coming tomorrow. It's gonna be beautiful. And soon, we will have a magnificent building. Oh, hey there. So I'm doing one of my favorite things in life, waiting for somebody else. In this case, it's Home Depot. Hopefully they'll be here before I get done shooting this video. Now, we've got trusses from yesterday. They showed up. We got concrete from the day before, and now we're gonna build the walls today. So we're gonna see how much we can get done. Now, this is what, if you're like me, you like to think a lot. And this is one of the things I like to think about, okay? Imagine that you could live forever here on this earth with all the same people that are alive right now. Would you treat the world differently? Would you treat people differently? Would you treat the environment differently? Would you have a longer term goal? Okay, so let me elaborate here. Right now, everybody treats everything and everyone like they're disposable. You're gonna die anyway, what difference does it make? They're gonna die anyway, what difference does it make? Their friends are disposable, spouses are disposable, kids are slightly less disposable, but still. And you know, jobs and things, everything that we have is like, I'll have this for a little while, I'm gonna throw it away. Especially in America, we're very, very, very wasteful. But imagine that the world stays the same size, all the same people, all get to live forever, and it's all the people that are here right now. You would have to find a way to get along with those people. You would have to find a way to make life sustainable. Right now it's not. Right now we're quickly descending into oblivion. But how much different would it be if we treated it like we got to live here forever with these people and make relationships that matter and be trustworthy and be honest and be kind? Because the planet's only so big. It's only 26,000 miles around, which isn't that big because 2/3 of that's covered by water. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff I think about. So I hope you do. Love you. Oh, hey there. So materials got here a little bit later, but that's fine. We went to Home Depot and Lowe's this morning. And so far we framed this. We're about to go get some lunch. It's amazing. We still have to do some interior walls, but this is going to be the mother-in-law suite, and this is going to be the 3-car garage on this side. So we haven't done this side yet. I want you to know, I'm pretty sure by this point you realize, I love building stuff and I love fixing stuff. And it doesn't matter, like if I walk by and I see something that's like the picture is crooked or the thing needs to be fixed or whatever, I'm like, and I just straighten it out or I fix it because it bothers me in my heart to see things that aren't right. So it bothers me when I see something that's not right and then I can't fix it. Like that is troubling to me. And let me just tell you about one thing that's troubling is my dad. And I'm sure that you guys know, I've been trying not to talk about it too much because it's not really getting any better, right? His face is horrible. For those of you that don't know, he's got skin cancer all over his face and he's lost both his eyes, so he's completely blind. And it just constantly oozes pus and blood and stuff out of his face. And like from here across, all his whole head is just one big giant thick scab. And I keep hoping that there's something that'll happen and keep praying that, you know, God will reveal himself in an undeniable way to him. But thus far, it's a lot of me getting him fruit juice and things that he wants or needs and just talking to him and playing music with him. And that's about it. I guess sometimes that's the kind thing to do. I was thinking about this recently. It says in the Bible that those of us that are rich should understand our low spiritual position and still try to be rich with dignity. And those that are poor need to understand that they're probably higher up in the kingdom of God by default, right? Like you're already struggling, time served, if you will, right? And so for those of us that have more, and most of you watching this have more, you think you don't, you're like, I'm poor, you haven't seen real poverty. For those of us that have more, we need to have those poor people be on our side. We need to be kind to them and to be compassionate to them and to be loving to them, because one day they may contribute to judging us. One day in the spiritual kingdom, they may be on top of us making decisions. And so we should do it because it's the right thing, but maybe it's a different angle. It's just one day we may need them. We may need them for their testimony on us. Like, were they kind to you? And if they're like, honestly, no, that's not a great testimony. Or were they kind to you? And they said, yeah, they sacrificed and they really made time. I think that's very important. Anyway, so I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. We got some stuff done. We're gonna get some more stuff done after lunch. We're gonna go eat, do our part to end world hunger. All right, love you guys. Oh, hey there. So today, our materials got here a little bit later, but we still got most everything framed. We still got to get this one little bit here, and then we're gonna start doing trusses tomorrow. So that'll be exciting. Now, a lot of times people ask me, John, you're the owner. Why do you get out here and do the hard work? Why do you get out here and sweat and bleed with everybody else? Why do you smash your fingers up and get scratches all over you and all that? You don't have to do that, and you don't need to. And here's my answer to that, okay? First of all, working is good for you. I don't have to work. I haven't had to work for a long time. But working is good for you. It's good for your heart. It's good for your soul. A bunch of people pay money to go and go to a gym and exercise. I'm like, well, all I have to do is exercise all day long. Secondly, it's good for your heart spiritually to do that, because we need to do that. Now look, Jesus, my King, the creator of the universe, the Lord of all, came down to earth and he humbled himself. He washed disciples' feet. He was homeless. he did all the hard things. He did all the dirty things. And if he's not above that, then I'm definitely not above that. So first of all, I don't mind doing it. I like it. I like getting dirty and I like building things and all that, but also I'm definitely not above my master. So think about that tonight while you're, I don't know, eating dinner or whatever you're doing. All right. So love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, hey there. So this morning has been quite productive. Now we got OSB all the way around, and OSB is oriented strand board. It's this wafer board stuff. Here, take a quick look. This stuff right here. It's amazing. That locks it all in place. We're level, we're solid, we're square. That's great. Then we got some of these trusses up. So we got this is a hip roof, not a gable roof. And we've got this part of it done. After lunch, we're gonna come back and hit a bunch of these, and maybe, who knows, we might get it all done today. All right, so I wanna tell you a cool story. My friend Scott Kimes, he told me about a time when him and his wife were in bed and she was being haunted by demons, okay? And so she pulls her head under the covers and she's like, there's demons at the door, I see them. Now, there may or may not have been substances, that's not my business. But either way, there was demons at the door. And so they pull the covers over their head and they pray that God would protect them. And then there's like, you know, when there's panic and there's like, you know, bad stuff, chaos or whatever, and then it just feels like there's a peace in the room. So this peace came over the room, and Scott said he peeked out and he looked and he said around their bed, so like imagine the room is like this and here's the door and they had a bed. Around their bed was angels, but he said they looked like warriors, just like boom, just every one of them staring at the door, protecting them, like swords drawn, ready to go. And they were just shoulder to shoulder, like nothing will get through here, we are protecting you. And I was like, that is a cool image, I think. That is a cool image because I think a lot of times people see angels and in their mind they think like somebody playing a harp and maybe fat little babies or something like that.
That's a cherub.
Like a cherub, right, for example. But I like the picture of angels that are like ripped and that are ready for battle, that are like, these guys are bad, they're trying to hurt you and we're here to protect you. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, hey there. So one of my helpers just asked a very important question, and I figured if he doesn't know, you know, then other people don't know either. And everybody knows that we're supposed to do things a certain way, but why do we do them, right? So we're putting OSB, this is oriented strand board or wafer board, plywood, whatever. We're putting this up here. Now, he said, why do you put these H-clips on here, on the roof, but not on the walls? And the answer is because on a wall, you're vertical, and nobody's stepping on there and putting pressure. But if you use 16-inch centers, which would be here, then it's close enough you don't have to have anything. But on a 2-foot center, when you walk here, they could come separated out and kind of like get underneath each other, right? Well, we don't want that. So you put these clips in there and it just keeps it from flexing in that middle part. So it's basically your 2-foot center everywhere, which is fine, but it's almost like a 1-foot center where the seams are. So that makes it that much better. So I hope you learned something.